And so here we have the finished trapper's cabin, 12 by 12 structure, dovetail corners, metal roof, actually insulated under that metal roof, 1.5-inch foam in between the screws up there, as you can see on the top, 1.5-inch foam underneath that, and then tongue and groove ceiling under that. The logs are 6 inches by 9 inches in size, of course 12 feet across to the corners, 2-foot overhangs on the front and the back. They are pine. The stain is Prolux Sickens Natural 078. Approximately 3.5 gallons on the outside and 3.5 gallons on the inside, with applied with a brush and 2 coats. The chink is, I can't remember the name brand, but it's white chink. There's approximately 6 tubes of the large tubes used in this whole production. I think they're 32-ounce tubes, if I'm not mistaken, big tubes. So there was about 6 of them used. And in other spots, in order to seal it up properly, up there in the seams, coming vertically down here on the king post, as you can see, didn't really want all the white color, so I used clear caulk that was actually paintable and stainable. I think I used probably 15 or 20 of those little tubes on the entire thing, on the entire trapper's cabins. Sealed up underneath here with just extra boards. Everything's sealed up in areas you can't see, is with a clear caulk, front and back. It sits on the bottom of this is on each side is about a half a dozen 12 by 12 cookies, if you will. So it just floats in the wintertime. It's Minnesota, so the ground shifts and it'll float. And the structure is actually sitting on each end over there and over here, and it's a 2 by I think it's a 2 by 8, looks like I got in there, by 12 of brown treated, and you can see the brown treated item right there on the bottom. And so none of the logs actually touch the ground. It actually floats, and then there's free air flowing underneath. And I've got a screen underneath here as well, and it's buried into the ground and stapled to the top of the structure here, so animals can't get into the structure as well. King post front and rear, a little bit of overhang of the metal on each side all the way around, a couple inches, and the metal's even sealed up properly. They're nice and tight. You may have noticed the windows here. They're painted red. They were brown before when I got them. They are actually repurposed old schoolhouse windows. And when we get inside, it'll become a lot more clearer to you that they're repurposed. Field stones on the bottom. This is out front is limestone. An old repurposed door again as well out front that I had to cut down, take a pane of windows off the top on each one, take the doors apart, and same thing with the side lights, because these are rather short doors here. And chinked throughout. And let's go inside. Take a look. Open up both doors. And I got a latch on the inside and the outside. I had to reestablish that latch as well, so it opens up nicely. And then the inside. Free floating 2x12 boards, except for the center one is not quite 12 inches wide. And electrical lighting on the top for illumination. A little bit of wall decorations in here and some glass, but not much. Gonna keep it pretty sparse. Tongue and groove pine ceiling. This is rough sawn on the top up there. Probably not go with rough sawn again. It takes too long to stain rough sawn. And king post, as I said. And underneath these floorboards here, let's see if I can do this somewhat gracefully. I sealed it up. So there's green treated on the bottom. And so it's entirely sealed up on the bottom trusses down here. Caulked all the way around in the joints. They keep the bugs out of here and the animals out in the wintertime. Because they will like to find this place to stay. There's no doubt about that. Let's step inside. Nice high ceilings. I didn't want to cut into this boards with light switches and so on and so forth, so I found a string of lights that I strung up, and with a long cord wire or chain here up to a switch that turns the lights on and off. Simple switch. Conduit running down on the power cables, and there's an outlet in every corner. Everything goes to a junction box on each corner. All the electrical work does. You go to a junction box down underneath the floorboards, and it's all the power comes up through the floor. As you can see, the old schoolhouse windows that are repurposed. Handles on the bottom yet. I added the brass handles here, the brass latches, in order to keep the doors closed, so I can close them tight. They're hinged up. Everything's sealed up with trim on the edges here, so everything stays nice and tight as well. This window we did a little differently in the back. Do a little different size windows. It's got an old-fashioned latch on the top, brass down there, and a couple of latches down at the bottom there. Opens up if we wanted to. You can look at the corners here. Nice and tight corners. Nice and tight construction on the dovetail corners. And overlooking a lake. Old-fashioned hinges again. Use these hinges throughout. The doors, the windows, and the hinges, I found an architectural salvage location. Actually, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And that's the trapper's cabin. 12 by 12. Beautiful little structure. Very happy to have it. Should last me my lifetime past. Hope you enjoyed it.